Good morning. My name is Lexi Otts, Raptor Freak. It's Monday morning. The Raptors won their sixth straight yesterday against the New Orleans Pelicans. It was a great win, very close, tight win through the whole game. I mean, I'm looking at the score right now, and it's amazing. The Raptors won the first quarter by 1 point. They tied the second quarter with them 22-22. Third quarter, they won by 1 point, and then the fourth quarter, they won by 2 points, totaling to a 4-point total win over the New Orleans Pelicans yesterday. That's a run, we'd get a little bit of a lead, and then all of a sudden they go on another run, and then it would be like a 9-0 run by them, and then they'd be in the lead. Runs back and forth. Very interesting game. A lot of fun to watch. We got tested by a big guy. Jonas Valanciunas was very dominant at different times in the game last night. I was really worried about him taking over at the end of the game and forcing his will through his size on us at the end of the game, but it didn't happen, thank goodness. And it was really just listen, one of the things I'm really impressed about in this Raptor team right now is the offensive rebounding. Last night, we had 6 different guys get at least 2 offensive rebounds. That means that the collective of the Raptors is crashing the boards on every shot and trying to put them back. And they were led by Boucher last night with 4 offensive rebounds. And then you had like Pascal, OG, Kem, Fred, and Precious all got 2 offensive rebounds as well each. So that's amazing. Really good offensive rebound numbers last night. I mean, the team stats were really even. They outshot us. We had more threes though. And oh my gosh, the free throw shooting last night for the Raptors was amazing. They went 19 for 20 for 95% at the line. I think the only miss was by Kem Birch, and it was just on a silly one. But Pascal, who struggled at the free throw line in recent games, was a perfect 10 for 10 at the free throw line. And this is an area where a veteran, a good team does really well in close games. We only won by 4 points, and we made 19 out of 20 free throws. On a different night, we might have missed 8 free throws, and that could have messed up this game for us. So it's really good that they were really good at the charity stripe last night. And I'm so proud of Pascal. Pascal is playing so well right now. He was the one last night that was the closest to getting that triple-double. He was just 3 assists shy of doing it. That's the thing. We're going to watch every night. We're going to see at least one of the Raptors flirting with the possibility of getting a triple-double. And I see it. I see it's going to happen some more and more, like Fred did the other day. It's going to be Scotty. It's going to be Pascal. It's going to be different guys that could possibly get the triple-double on any given night. And Pascal was the guy last night. Just a great performance, 8 for 18, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and only 2 turnovers. So Pascal's been amazing. He was the guy like Gary is during the game sometimes, where he's the bread and butter, just kind of gets the spots, keeps the offense going throughout the game. And Fred was kind of early on, and then, of course, very late. And Fred's 2 3-pointers that he made were so key because they were up by 3 at that point. And Fred hit a 3 and tied us up. And then he came back and he did that little fast break transition where he had a layup. He could have gone straight to the basket and got 2 points, but he decided to step back and take a 3 instead. And that put us over 3 and over 100. And we didn't look back. And then the game ended up being 105 to 101, which is really good. The thing is, we're controlling the game at the end of the game. We're getting defensive stops, and we're executing on offense so that we can get the lead and hold it. And that's really important. Like, a team that's developing or young doesn't know how to do this. This is what I keep telling people. Teams that are young and developing don't know how to win close games like the one last night. They end up losing the game. So the team that's usually more veteran in this kind of scenario wins. And our veteranism was better than New Orleans last night. They have JV. Brandon Ingram is an amazing, sick player. He was killing us at different times and stuff like that, but we did okay against him. He could have honestly done way better against us. I mean, he had 22 points on 6 of 13 shooting, and he had a lot of rebounds and 4 assists. So, we contained Ingram pretty good. And Graham didn't really show up too much. I mean, he had a couple of threes that were really nasty late that kind of scared me. And he took the last shot in the game. Not that it would have mattered because we were up by 4. If he had hit that 3, they would have lost by 1. And, we were in a good shape with the margin by then. But it's still scary to see Devontae Graham take a three right at the last second that could possibly, do something. Just a fun all-around game. I'm really proud of the Raptors. They've won 6 in a row now. Going to have to go for 7 against the Phoenix Suns tomorrow night here in Toronto. It's going to be a fantastic game. I'm really looking forward to it because the Suns are the number 1 team in the league now. And we caught a break last night also in the standings. Golden State took care of Cleveland late last night. And now we're only a half game behind the Cavaliers for the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference. So, we're going to start climbing, continue to climb. And I really feel like we're going to leapfrog and get into that top 4 in the East and have home court position for the playoffs by that time, for sure. And I think we'll stay up there, especially if we stay healthy and everything is fine. But man, things are going so good with the Raptors last night. I'm really, really proud of the guys. Let's just look at the box score a little bit more and see what we can see here. OG was pretty quiet for the most part, but he had his spots. He hit a couple of key threes. He was active in the game, but he could do more. He only had 12 points. We'll see what he does in the near future. He was real big in the last game, and that's how it's going to go. Some guys are going to be bigger on certain nights, and some guys are going to be, not as big. Scotty struggled again. I still feel like he's kind of having that rookie wall. He was 3 for 10, only 7 points. I'd like him to be more aggressive. I want him to be more aggressive in trying to get his shot. But right now, he's just letting the game come to him. And he didn't get to play in the crunch minutes late in the game. That Chris Boucher took up those minutes. And I'm really glad he did. Because Chris is a totally different player. Like within the last week, I think Chris has completely changed who he is. And it's amazing. Like, honestly, his hustle and his energy, that picture of him being exhausted when he came out of the game in the last game, this just really says a lot. And once again, on his Instagram, he's posting Dennis Rodman after the game. So I really think he's really taking the spirit of Dennis Rodman into his game, whether it's hustling after loose balls. That tip-in putback was so crucial in this game to help us win. Like that shot was missed and he was right there and he was able to tip it back in. That was fantastic. That's a big, huge play. That's a play like Dennis would do to help his team win, is to tip that ball in like that, get that inside position, slither in there and just tip the ball back in. Chris in his interview after the game says, yeah, I'm interested in garbage points now. That's what you call them, garbage points? Well, I want to go get garbage points now. And I love that. I love that because championship teams have grinders and fighters and workers that are hitting the boards and doing stuff like that. And he really is, to me, kind of like at this point, a Rodman, Spider Sally kind of bad boys role off the bench. He's this long guy who can come out there, rebound, block shots, and play good defense for us down low. And I love it. I love it. He's leveled up. It's weird because these guys that have been on the team the longest, OG, Pascal, Fred, and Chris, they're all leveling up this year in different ways. And they're still getting better and better. And, oh, man, it's just so fun to see these guys mature and get better and better as they get older. And Fred is at a whole other level now. I mean, honestly, Fred is like becoming one of the most dominant players in the NBA right now on the down low. Seriously, this man can do what he does. He did in the last game, that scoring stretch, and just how he kind of orchestrated the game last, helped them get to the win no matter what. He's saving gas in the tank at this point. And I love it that we're being competent enough with him off the court that he can get a good rest in the fourth quarter and be completely fresh to help us close. And that's a big, big deal. Like before, earlier in the season, we couldn't afford to do that. We needed to have him out there for pretty much the whole fourth quarter. And by the last 5 minutes of the game, he was pretty tired. But now we can have the luxury of putting him on the bench for 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, like a good chunk of the fourth quarter. He's not in the game, and we're holding the lead. We're either building a lead or we're sustaining the lead, something like that, and not losing the lead. And then he can come in and he can just help us finish it. And he's not completely gassed. That's a big difference right there. That's a big difference between us losing close games in the beginning of the season and now what was happening now is the luxury of resting Fred late so that when he comes in for that last push, that last shift, his legs are underneath him and he's bombing. And honestly, he's showing that Steph Curry range. Like these threes that he was shooting last night, they're not anywhere near the three-point line. This man's like 4 feet away from the line, and it's just dead eye. It's sick. Like when he shoots now, I'm just like, count it. count it. You know it's going in because man, it just looks so smooth and so nice. And I'm just glad he's on our team right now. I think a lot of people, when he was a free agent recently, and the fact that we got him, and it was that he wasn't really looking at anybody else or anybody, these other teams could have given him more money, but he understands he's a smart guy. Toronto's the place to be. But man, all these other teams in the league right now wish they had Fred VanVleet. I'm not gonna lie. They wish they had Fred VanVleet on their team because he's a difference maker. He's a baller, and he's getting that eye of the tiger right now. Speaking of eye of the tiger, Chris Boucher was posting Survivor Eye of the Tiger on his Instagram before the game yesterday. So this man's getting hyped up to 80s hairband metal Survivor Eye of the Tiger before the game. I love this, Chris. Keep going with the throwbacks, whether it's Survivor Eye of the Tiger or Dennis Rodman, whatever you're getting your inspiration from these days, keep going in that direction because it's working, man. It's totally working. Oh my gosh. So let's talk a little bit about Jonas. Jonas is such an interesting player. He's such a big dude. And his skill has been more and more honed, and he's getting more and more better at just being a good leader, being efficient, being good with his footwork, being good with not getting fouls and getting fouled himself. I just love who Jonas has become. And it's kind of weird that we haven't seen him a whole lot since he got traded from us for Marc Gasol. Because, like, honestly, he's grown even just in these 2.5 years since we traded him. And it sucks. It sucks to see him talk about how much he loves this city, how much of a connection he has with this city, because this is where he married his wife. This is where he had his young kids. And this is home to him in a lot of ways. Like, the U.S. wasn't the first place he went to when he left Lithuania. It was Canada. It was Toronto. And he loves this city, and he was so happy to be here. You could tell it fit like a glove around him. Just being back in the building, seeing people like Herbie and the support staff and everybody before the game, he was just a love fest. That big, huge hug that he gave Chris before the game when Chris came out, just everything about it. It sucks that he's somebody who's so important to this franchise and will always mean something, just like DeMar and Kyle. And, he may never play for us again. But in some ways, he is a really important Raptor to our history, and he shouldn't be forgotten. And when people are getting kudos and people are talked about later on in the years to come, Jonas Valanciunas should be one of those voices, one of those names that needs to be talked about in the history of the Raptors as being crucial and important for all kinds of different reasons, especially that development time with DeMar and Kyle and bringing our franchise to respectability. That Jonas Valanciunas was the third guy in that group that was really important. And it's tough. It's tough to see him come here and say that he loves it here, then he misses it here. Because I can tell. I can really tell. Toronto's got a great vibe. It's an amazing city. Come on. And, it's different. Going to Memphis than going to New Orleans is very different. But the Pelicans fans are very happy with him, and they don't want to give him up. They're very happy with this guy. They love him. And they saw the Raptor love for him last night, and now they're like, you can't have him, he's ours. And I love that, and he deserves that. He deserves fans that feel like that about him. So so great to see Jonas, and he really is a dominant kind of player. But once again, he doesn't really fit with what we're trying to do with our team. Like, he is not mobile enough. He is not that 5-tool kind of player like our. It was really fun to watch the big guys last night on our team also. Really tight rotation, only 8 guys. And guess who was in that 8-man rotation? Svi Mykhailiuk. Svi Mykhailiuk came in and he did some nice things, Darren. I really love what he did, actually. He played within himself for the most part. He only had a couple of mistakes, but they weren't really too egregious. But he played within himself. And I really like that set play they had where he came around the little curl screen into the lane and hit that easy mid-range jumper. And he made it real nice. And his shot looked good. And he made most of his shots. Like, what was he? 2 for 3. He was 3 for 3 at the free throw line, 7 points in 14 minutes. Nothing wrong with that. That's just good, solid fill-in time. And when he got open shots, he took them, and he made 2 out of 3 of them. So that's not bad. And then, the other guys, like, you may look at the stat sheet and say Boucher and Achua didn't do anything with 6 points. But, man, those rebounds, the energy, and the things that they were doing on the court were really important to this team. And I'm really proud of both of them. Like, honestly, I think that the thing with Precious right now is fantastic. The lobs, the different things are going to be coming more and more as we see the connections between the players. The second nature gets developed. Precious is going to be a lob machine, guys. It's already showing itself, and it's going to happen more and more. And it's not just going to be Fred lobbing it up for him. It'll be Scotty. It'll be Pascal. Everybody will be able to lob lobs up. And Precious, Paul's saying this morning, Paul, good to see you this morning. The W is ugly, but I'll take it. Siakam has been playing like we've always wanted prior to the bubble, and VanVleet is now taking over games. Yes, Siakam is playing such a high level. Some people are saying, who cares about him getting on the All-Star team? Just let's see him get on the All-NBA team again. Like, he should be All-NBA this year with the way he's playing all around. It's so fun and nice to see these guys get success and get into these points because they've worked so hard. And we have struggled as a franchise at different times in different ways, whether it's the Tampa year, whether it's earlier in the season with injuries and different stuff like that. So it's really nice to see things paying off now. Click 2 a.m. Good morning. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling better and better. And your grandfather also. Phoenix tomorrow. If we play the way we played yesterday, we will get blown out. Everybody has to be on their A game. We need to contain Booker, CP3, and DeAndre, and then guard the threes. Very difficult. We want that challenge, Click. And honestly, it's weird to say because listen, I think that we played adequate to win, and we may do that in most situations. We just play adequate to win, and we adjust that to however what's going on. Like with the Utah game, we thought it would be easier when we started the game, and it wasn't. And we had to adjust as the game went on, and we ensured the win. So that's the whole thing about it now, is about ensuring the win and doing what it takes. And if things are really bad and things are going awful or something like that, we adjust and we try and clamp down, whether it's on defense or just like trying to figure out how we can get easier baskets on the other end. I want this challenge against Phoenix. What you're describing right here is a difficult puzzle. These guys are number one in the league. They have the best record in the NBA. So this is the challenge we want. This is the kind of game that these guys get up for and play out of their minds for. So we've seen 6 games of excellence and winnings just now. Now we got to go for 7. And to get this 7th one, we really have to, you're right, we have to play at a very, very high level with very few mistakes. But I love this challenge for these guys. And I think they'll take it and they'll do really well. This is the kind of thing where we play out of our minds and we beat teams we're not supposed to. And I'm really hoping that's what happens tomorrow. But it's no slouch in losing to Phoenix because Phoenix is a very good team. But also, I want to see who actually shows up tomorrow. I haven't looked at the injury report yet, and it may be a similar thing to Golden State and Utah, that they don't send all their best players to us tomorrow. So let's see what happens in the next 24 hours with the injury report and see who actually shows up for Phoenix tomorrow night. And then we'll reassess how the game might go. If they all show up, yeah, it's going to be a tough game, and we could possibly really lose bad if we don't play really well. But I love the challenge, and I believe in our team against anybody. When you have a guy like Fred VanVleet and what he does, he's going to step up and do the things that he needs to do to help his team get there. And he really he's amazing right now. Honestly, he's one of the most dominant players in the NBA on the down low. People don't want to admit that, or they can't see it because he's undrafted. He's so little and stuff like that, but it's for real. He is one of the most dominant players in the NBA right now on the down low. I really believe that. Marlon Toby, good morning, man. Good to see you as always. It's sad our bench unit sucks this season. And I saw the guys were exhausted after heavy minutes. The Pelicans rested their players. Besides, take note, we're going to need a bench in the playoffs. You know, that it's really deceiving. The whole thing about the bench, it bugs me too. Like, I'd love to see more points off the bench, but it's just not happening. We're very, very talent heavy in our starting lineup. And a lot of our bench points are just not going to happen. So it's the starters are taking the brunt of the load, and they seem to be fine with it. It's so weird that 2 guys on our team, because our team's always been so equal in some things. But with Pascal and Fred getting like 60 of our total points, it's not that they can't do that normally, and not that we want it to happen all the time. It's just that sometimes in games, that's what's necessary for us to win. And I'm just glad that we had these kind of guys that can carry this kind of load and help us get to the W no matter what, and play like that. And, you know, it's deceiving. It's with everything. I don't care who's getting what on stats or anything. The only stat that matters. And they said that again at the end of the game. Pascal said it again. He reiterated this franchise in the post-game conference. He said, we are a franchise franchise that believes in winning. We are all about winning. That's all we care about. We're not worried about this, or this. We just care about ultimately getting the W. He said that explicitly. I've been saying this on the stream. We're all on the same page. It's just about getting the W. And it may not be like bench production involved in getting the W sometime, but hopefully it does come around and there is a more balance. You're right. But I think it really does have a lot to do with Nick Nurse wanting to start his 5 most talented players on any given night. And we saw Gary was a late scratch last night. So he put Kem in at center to play against Jonas. And that was smart. That was smart in a lot of ways. But he was going to yank Scotty to put Kem in early anyway, just in case Jonas was absolutely eating us up at the beginning. But it's gonna be a struggle. The bench is gonna be a struggle for a while. We're missing Yuta. I can't say that he's a huge difference in that, but he does help with the scoring and different things as far as things. But I don't know. I don't know if this is a concern. If we continue to win and the bench comes around and then they start producing a bit better or something like that, it's weird because we don't technically have somebody like a Lou Williams, a guy who comes off the bench, who is a big time scorer who can fill it up. We don't have that right now. And that kind of is scary, I guess. But in some ways, I mean, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's just keep going. And as the needs or things that we need to get or need to be addressed, and I'm sure Bobby and Masai will take care of it. But right now, I really love this team that we have. The contingent that we have available for us to go out there and play is amazing. Honestly, we've got some really good role players, really good guys that do a lot of different things, and then we have crazy, amazing athletes that can do so much. So, Kenny, good morning. Nice win. Suns roster out. I don't know yet. I'll have to go do the research. I didn't do any preview research for tomorrow yet. I was just basically focusing on reacting to last night and different things like that. But I'll go and take a look and see. I think they've been healthy, who they've been playing so far. I know Chris Paul's been playing recently. I'm pretty sure Ayton's been playing. So we'll see. We'll see who's going to be there and who crosses the border. Because once again, with these teams that are at the top of the Western Conference, they only come to Toronto once. It may be smarter for them to not bring major big players across the border because they're worried about the quarantine issue that may happen if they get it. But it may again also, I don't know if Phoenix has gone through their COVID protocols as a team. Like, have most of them already gotten it? Then if most of them have already gotten it, then they'll probably send the team because they're not worried about them having that issue. So I got to go look at that. I'll look at it this afternoon. We'll do a proper preview tomorrow. But I'm really excited about this Phoenix game. I think it's going to be so much fun to watch either way. Even if we get taught a lesson on how we need to be better, to learn to be better. But even, I think we're going to win. Honestly, I believe in us every single game we play at this point. Just if we have our whole team, we can beat anybody on any night, honestly. Fred's stats are amazing. You were right. People don't want to admit it or see it. In a way, this tight rotation helps in the playoffs. Starters will have great stamina. Yeah, and honestly, it's great. It's different than in the beginning of the season because we were really using these guys so many minutes because of necessity. We had to play Fred 45 minutes a game and him lead the NBA. But now we can afford to give him, like I was saying, some stretches out of the game for good periods of time because we have competent ball handlers and playmakers between Pascal and Scotty. And the stuff they're doing is amazing. Now, I wish Scotty would do more right now. He's not being aggressive in a lot of ways. And, he could be scoring more. And I don't know. It's something, I really think he is tired right now. And that he's really kind of got it. He's just going through the motions and just not messing up, but he's not playing out of his mind. Like, he could be playing better, but he still does really great flashes of brilliance. Like, he has these moves in the lane where he takes a guy with his back to him and turns around and just shoots over them. That just looks so dominant. That's the Kawhi stuff. He's continuing to make a Kawhi basket at least once a game where he gets real close to the basket and he makes like a short shot over someone. And I love that. Scotty's got so much that's going to be bright on the horizon for us. And I can't wait to see it all because there's like more and more that happens that I just get inspired that, you know what, he could do this, or stuff like that. So just a really good effort all around. They did what they needed to do. They controlled the game in the important ways. And like I said, making 19 out of 20 free throws is really huge in a close game where they only won by 4. If they shot free throws like they were like a week or so ago, they would have lost the game last night when they were missing like 8 or 9 free throws in the game. So that discipline has showed at the line, specifically Pascal, making 10 out of 10 free throws last night was huge. Let's keep going. She's saying Scotty has knee tendonitis. Yeah, he's definitely not 100% right now. And you saw he was on the bike when he wasn't on the court. He was over on the bike on the edge of the court with the stationary bike, just keeping his knee warm, keeping it active and stuff like that. So it was just a fun game. I mean, it's so bizarre and weird having no fans in there and having somebody like JB who's been gone for so long, who's so important to the team, not get his kudos and his ovation. And I'm really glad that MLSC decided not to play his tribute video last night like they did for Surge a couple weeks ago, because it just didn't make any sense. It's just awkward and weird. So just wait. Next year, hopefully everything will be fine and Jonas will get 20,000 people welcoming him back and just feeling the love from that. But it sucks. It sucks because these guys are returning to the city and they're not getting the proper kind of ovation or welcome that they fully deserve. They really do. And it's just too bad. It's just what it is. But hopefully, things would get fixed up and better by the time February 1st comes and Kyle's here. So we'll see. We'll see what's up. All right, guys, I don't need to go super long today. Once again, it's just a preview. If you guys have anything else, just real quick, we'll do it right now. But otherwise, I'm going to sign off. Really proud of this team. Like, these are close games that are really tough to win. You have to be a good veteran team and understand the pacing and way NBA games unravel and get to the end and how how you can make sure you're the one on the right side of winning. And our team is really good at this. This is not like Orlando. This is not like Detroit. This is not like Houston. These teams don't have a roadmap to this, and we still have a roadmap to this. We understand what it takes, and we do it. And it really is Fred VanVleet and Pascal leading the way at the top. With 60 points. Oh my gosh, insane, incredible, so good. And Gary, it's too bad Gary didn't get to play last night. And Nick was really actually kind of surprised that he didn't play, because he was really good in pregame and warming up and stuff like that. And then right at the last second, he didn't end up playing. But then again, maybe it was one of these things where they just wanted to make the starting lineup change easier, because they knew they were probably going to have to play Cam against Jonas. And that's really smart that they weren't afraid to change the lineup to do that, to get Cam in there against Jonas, because it's the kind of thing where, Jonas is a really big dude, and he can be very dominant with his size, and you need somebody who can actually it was fun to see Chris tangling with him and trying to handle him. It's so fun. And Chris is really trying his ass off, like against a guy who's like almost 100 pounds heavier than him. It's just, it's comical at times, but it really shows the kind of effort in what he's trying to do and the work he's putting in on the court when he does try to handle a bigger guy like him or Embiid, something like that. That stuff has been crazy lately. But anyway, all right, let's go Raptors. So happy, so proud. Such a close game. Like I said, they only beat the Pelicans by 1 point in the first. They tied in the second. They beat them by 2 points in the third and 1 point in the fourth. And they win 3 quarters, but by very few points. It's a 4-point win in the end. It's crazy. It's crazy, honestly. Okay, guys, I'll be back tomorrow for a preview for Phoenix. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Go Raptors. Let's get number 7 and just keep going. No looking back. Let's get all kinds of things. Coach of the month for Nick Nurse. Let's get Fred in the All-Star game. Let's get Pascal on All-NBA by the end of the year. All that kind of stuff. All that good stuff. All right. Have a great Monday, y'all. Let's start this week right. Go Raptors. Oh, yeah, baby.